What? 4? Are you sure? G'day and welcome back to the channel. Now you may not believe this, but there are actually 4 different versions of the MK7 GTI with over 80 horsepower difference between the first and the fourth. So from a mechanical point of view, one of the big differences is the brakes. The Performance Pack gets larger 340mm brakes up front with larger single piston calipers with the GTI logo on them. It also gets vented versus solid discs out the back. The other major mechanical difference is the inclusion of the VAQ differential, which is actually a Haldex unit. Yes, the same Haldex unit the Golf R uses to shift power between back and front. The PP uses it to shift power between left and right. Front axle only, obviously. So from a GTI Performance Pack to a GTI Clubsport, what's the difference? Now the most obvious difference, of course, is the exterior. Clubsport has the brand new bumper, front splitter, side skirts, rear valance, and of course the wing on the back. All of which actually add functional downforce to the car. What about under the hood? So the GTI Clubsport runs a slightly detuned Golf R motor, IS38 turbocharger, larger injectors, larger intercooler, all very similar to an R. What else mechanically? Well, sadly not a lot. Underneath, it's actually a performance pack. Same brakes, same wheels, same with sway bars, springs, bushes, struts. It's all the same. It's all a performance pack. So it's really the outside and then the motor. Everything else mechanical is a PP. Until you get to the interior, that's when it actually does get a little bit special. So you've got Alcantara steering wheel, door inserts, gear shift boot. You also have the fantastic Recaro sport seats, which sadly weren't available in Australia, but I think most other regions got them. They are fantastic. I'm insanely jealous that I don't have them, and they're blood money on the second-hand market. You just can't get them for reasonable money. It's ridiculous. Finally, Clubsport versus Clubsport S. So the Clubsport was released in limited numbers in each region that it was sold. So for example, Australia I think got 500 cars. Other regions are probably similar. Clubsport S only was sold in 400 worldwide. Sadly, none in Australia. I think South Africa got 5, something like that. So really, really limited numbers. So what are the differences? So the most obvious is the engine. You get a full fruit Audi TTS or Audi S3 motor. So it's the most powerful Golf engine, not just GTI, but the most powerful Golf motor you can get. Definitely no detuning here. The other differences, and I think what's more interesting, because anyone can tune their car to have similar or more power than the Clubsport S, just by adding a little bit more boost via a tune. What's more interesting is what they've done up front between the wheels to make it handle better. And this is where Volkswagen's friends at Porsche actually got involved in the development. So the same team that worked on the GT3 actually worked on this car, or had a hand in the development, right? You don't actually know, it could have been one guy turned up for one meeting. Who knows? Whatever they did though, it worked out fantastically, right? Because the car's an absolute weapon. So what did they do? So stiffer bushes up front, so LCAs like I've talked about and fitted to my car as well, engine trans, pendulum mounts. There are some mounts in the rear end as well that are slightly stiffer, just one I think. It's got the Audi S3 subframe, and it also has the bespoke hub carriers that give it the much needed increase in camber. So all of these modifications from the factory make the car way more precise and balanced at high speed, and more chuckable in the corners, thanks to a much more aggressive wheel alignment that's been enabled through the inclusion of these parts. So there you have it. Those are the major differences between the 4 Mark 7 GTIs. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you're interested in any of those parts, please check out my previous videos where I actually list the part numbers in the description, or just hit me up in the comments. I'm always happy to share them or where to get them. Tell me down in the comments below, what would you do to your GTI to make it your perfect GTI? So as always, have fun in your cars and keep it on the black stuff.